Okay guys, welcome back to another Scrapping Irish video, and for this week I was going to try and do some silver recovery or something like that, but because the weather's been bad and I haven't been got time to do, the evenings are short and shed is full, so I didn't really get around to doing that. So what I have is, at the moment here in Ireland, they're changing all our meters to the new smart meters. So I've got hold of the old meter that was in the house, and I'm going to take it apart. Because why? Because I've never taken one of these apart before. Secondly, hopefully we can find some brass, maybe some silver, and if you look, really it does look like there's gold around there, but that could be brass. We'll know when we take it apart. Down lower, it looks like a goldy colour, but it could be just brass. But we'll take it apart and we'll see what's in here. Now, first off, I've never taken one of these apart before in my life, so it may have nothing of value in there. Well, it definitely will have some brass. It definitely will have some copper, I'm hoping. And I'm hoping that we'll have some silver contacts in there, because again, anything to do with electric usually has some silver contacts, so hopefully we'll get some silver contacts in there. As I've never taken one of these apart before, I don't even know where to start. I suppose I'll start wherever there's a screw and we'll take out them screws, but that looks like there's only one screw there and nothing on the back, just some screws holding in the plate that held it to the wall. This is where the contacts went in, or not the contacts, the cable went in, so hopefully brass and copper in there. So again, we have a security mechanism here to make sure no one tampers with it, so that'll be coming off to get that screw out. So we have the two screws here and here. We're going to start with them and go from there. So as always guys, appreciate you dropping in, and if you have never taken one of these apart and you want to see what's inside them, this is your opportunity to have a look and see. So please give it a thumbs up, please watch the video all the way through, and as always, if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel, where hopefully we'll get more silver work done and gold work done in the future. I have a few plans for next year. As I said, this year's coming to an end. You always try and plan for the year ahead. So the big plan is to build a shed in the back so that I can do a lot more scrapping, because the shed I have is too small. And if I can get all the stuff out of the small shed into the bigger shed and use the small shed just for taking stuff apart and get a chemical hood put into it, that's the big plan, to try and get that fume hood put in, either in the new shed or the old shed, and we'll be able to get a lot more gold recovery done then, because it won't matter if it's dark evenings or not. I'll be able to do it inside with the fume hood. So anyhow, that's the plan. So let's take this apart and see what's inside it. Right, let's get into this. Let's bring the camera in a small bit here more so you can see what's happening. So we'll start by removing these security tabs. So nothing to that, just cut them off. And the same here at the back. It's just these were tampered, just so they would know if you tampered with your electric meter. No one would ever do that, would they? Try and tamper with their electric meter so they wouldn't have to pay as much? Nah. That wouldn't be possible. New smart meters would put a stop to any of that. So we'll remove this screw, but it's a bit awkward because it's catching. Now again, I'll check these screws to see if they're brass at the end. We'll get a magnet and see, because sometimes with this older stuff, now I didn't say how old this was. This was made in 1978. So 1978, so that's 45 years old. So hopefully we have some good silver contacts. So the more I think about it, less chance that is gold and it's brass, because I couldn't see it being used back then, but maybe I'm wrong. So as I say, we'll have a look at these screws at the end. They look like they're brass, but we'll double check it. And we'll take it off this side as well. And we'll see what it's like inside. Again, I don't know how this worked. Ian Matthews is the guy for that sort of stuff. He's able to tell you how everything works. I don't really care how it works. Okay, so we have our cover off. We can remove that screw in a second. We don't need to take it all the way out yet. So we have our cover off. I'm just looking to see if they're just little tabs. So they'll obviously pull off in a second. A little disc that spun around. Every time that went around, it moved a digit over here. So you had your revolutions. So that was able to work out how much electricity you were using when that disc was spinning. So when you put something on really high powered, that rarely moved around, and when during the day if you had nothing really running, she was moving nice and slowly. But if you had something like a clothes dryer or maybe an oven on, a shower, that would move fairly quickly. People usually use magnets to try and slow it down so that it didn't move around as quick. So just having a quick look at it. A lot of screws in underneath. We'll take off this cover and does it pull off? I wonder after we remove the screws. Looks like there's a screw in under there, but how do we get to that screw? Obviously we'll have to, here we go, just loosen this first. A little rivet. So here's where our wire contacted in again. I'm hoping these are all brass, so they have to be all removed. So I'll remove them in a second off camera, because you don't need to see me screwing all them out, but I'm hoping they're brass, that they use brass. So what I'll do off camera is I'll remove all them and we'll come back once I have that done. Okay, so I have removed the brass screws from there. So we're going to try and remove any screws we see. Well, I'm presuming they're brass screws. It keeps saying brass screws and I'll probably get disappointed at the end when the magnet sticks to them. But so we'll remove any of these screws that are down here that I can actually see. And we'll try and get a bit more. I've taken off the plates off the front as well. So again, some looks like a brass thread. So hopefully some Allen key ones there that I'm going to have to get an Allen key for. We know that one's not brass, it's magnetic, so we can solve that one by putting him over there. He is a magnetic one. So there wasn't much to the working of these, to be honest. As you can see, it's just a few cogs that turned the dials when the disc spun this. When the disc spun, it spun this little threaded bar that spun a cogs that moved the digits up or down. So it wasn't really that complicated. But I suppose in 1979 or 1978, it was what they had technology wise, so it done the job. It was able to give you a readout of your meters, and it served its purpose until now. So 45 years doing it. I wonder will the new smart meters they put in last 45 years? Probably not. Okay, so we have this is where, as I said, the digits moved around. Again, it looks like we have a little brass nut there that we can take off. Take off the little circlip off it, and that should fall out and feels like die cast sort of material. So we'll have a look with a magnet on it, but it feels like a die cast aluminium sort of material. So okay, first part out. And now what do we get access to? Well, I just can see that's definitely not gold plated. I thought it was, but it's not. It's a brass, but it all adds up. So far I don't see any silver contacts, which is a bit disappointing because I was hoping to maybe get some silver contacts out of it. Alright, that does not want to screw out, so we'll go this way instead. And you can tell by the age, by the lack of Phillips or PZ screws, it's more the flatheads. There is one or two in there I can see deeper down, but they use these old flathead screws. So again, hopefully it's a brass screw. Can be a market online for brass screws, guys. I've seen people selling them on eBay for fairly good prices, where people want brass screws for certain jobs. Again, if they're doing an older restoration of something and they want to get the original sort of brass screw look, you can find them online. Okay, we're getting to the guts of it. I just need to see what's holding in. It seems to be just held down here. Now, there we go. So we have our where our wire ran in and was wired in, and then very thin wire coming off it after heavy wire coming to there, and then we have thin wire going to nice, should be a copper motor definitely there. And again, hopefully this could be copper plated, well, copper with plating over it. Let me see. We'll do a quick scratch test. Not 100% sure. I'll do it a bit deeper. No, brass. You can see the brassy colour to it, so a brass in there. So what will we do now? Well, I suppose we'll cut the wires and try and liberate a few more things. So I said that screw there, which is plastic, didn't want to come out, so nothing I can do about that. So again, off camera, I'll cut these cables off. You don't need to see. Well, look at all I'm doing, guys. Snip, snip, and snip. So we have a little bit of wire. We can remove the screws off them, and again, that other one looked like it was brass. This one looks like it's aluminium actually. But again, I'll do a scratch test on it and we'll double check it. So I'll just put them aside. Again, zoom out a small bit. Ooh, wrong way. So you can see here, again, I was hoping this would be copper in along here, but I'll do a scratch test on it. We'll check it out. We'll get it removed. Again, we just need to get them Allen keys off, so I'm just going to get a wrench for getting them off, and a bit of plastic that's hooked here. A few clips that need to be released from here and here, but again, it's brass that's on here, which is good. And as you can see, they're riveted in or pressed in, so the clips need to be broken off. So I'll just get a Allen key and we'll be back. Okay, so we've got it's actually a Torque screw. I thought it was an Allen, but a Torque is the one that's fitting it. So let's take them out. And so suppose do it the other way, not tighten it. Okay, and so they weren't that tight anyhow, so we can get them out fairly easy. If I put them on the right thing for doing it, give me a second. Because of course, why would I have the right tool when I can pick up the wrong one? So this might just work for me, save me going. Yeah, so we can just remove these. So again, we'll check and see if they're brass at the end. And I don't think they are, to be honest, because I feel a magnet pulling against them, so definitely not brass. Because as you'll see, they're held up. So that solves that problem on that. And not brass either. Even though it looks like brass, it ain't brass. So might be disappointed on this one. So we can take that cover off again. It's some sort of die cast metal or aluminium by the feel of it. And we'll just take out this. This is one of the Phillips screws. I was saying there's some Phillips screws in there, or PZ screws, but not an awful lot. So we'll just clean that up. And again, check with your yard what they'll take that as. Will they take it as aluminium die cast, or do they have different categories? See what they'll take that as. So we're into there now. So where next? Well, looking at it, we don't seem to have many screws left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the motor out, or the transformer. So we have, if you look here closely, we have these clips which are holding it in. And now usually I'd put this in a vise and try and remove them, but hopefully we can just get them with the flathead screwdriver in underneath them and try and pull them out that way. May not work, but may work because it's coming. And then if we get our pliers, and maybe we can get enough of a grip to pull them out. There we go. So I'll remove those. So you don't need to see me doing that. I'll remove those and we'll be back once I have them removed. Okay, so we've removed those tabs that were around here, there was another one here and here, and there was two more here at the back. So it is loosened up there, but we need to remove this little clips here. So hopefully we can just remove them. There we go, and another one this side. There we go. So what have we underneath here? Let's see, can we pull any of that out? It's just, as I say, I've never done one of these before, so I don't know how they're held in. And they're held in fairly well. Okay, that ain't going to pull out. So it may be a hammer time. So we can't. It'll pull up there, but it won't. Up this side, it's very well secured. So let me have a look. Okay, we can remove this maybe. It may help. So we'll remove this white clip. Okay, just a piece of plastic, and we have a little dial here. Does that do anything? Okay, we've removed that side as well. Okay, we got the disc out anyhow. So again, it feels like it's aluminium, for you Americans, aluminum. But we'll have to clean it off because I'm sure that doesn't look like it's aluminium. And I'm sure if I get something that has a magnetic tip on it. Where is it? This baby. Actually it's not. It's not. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it is sticking. There we go. So it's sticking there. You can see the. But it's not sticking there. Not sticking there. So clean that up, and you've got a little bit of nice clean aluminium. Now what to do? Because these bars that are going through here, that are catching on there are well bet on there. So you could get a chisel, I suppose, put in a vise and knock it out with a chisel. My choice will probably be smash it with a hammer, hit it really hard here, and hopefully that will break it. Because again, we've got a pin running through here and coming out here, so we'll have to remove that to get the, if we can get that clip off, it's holding it in place. There we go. Magnetic, so rubbish. And again, magnetic underneath it, so rubbish. And that should hopefully remove on this side. So, and is it magnetic? I don't think it is by looking at it. No, so nice little bit of brass there. Clean the plastic off it and we've some nice brass. Now back to here. What to do? I think I'm going to just hit it with a hammer, to be honest. We'll remove these two little flathead screws that are here. But I don't think they'll do anything to solve my problem. And then again, you never know. Actually, these might release something, because that thing I was trying to pull through from the other side, I think is attached here. So then that should at least remove these down the way. So I was trying to pull that through here, but if I push it through instead, now that I've bent it, it'd probably be a bit tougher to get out. Almost out. So it's caught on just here coming down, but we'll get that out in a second. So yeah, I'm going to go out and I'm going to beat this with a hammer. You don't need to see me beat it with a hammer, but that's my plan. And hopefully that will release the motor from it at least, and then we can see. But I'm very disappointed, no silver contacts whatsoever so far. So let me go do that. Okay, just when I was about to hit it with the hammer, I discovered that these pins move down the way as well. So by giving them a tap with the hammer, I was able to release the motor or the transformer, which we should hopefully be copper. There's a little circuit there that we can get this little brass and copper off it. I'll do that in a few minutes. We'll remove that. So then we're left with this. So again, we have just a little screw down here. So as we're coming near the end of it, my verdict, not worth the time. No silver contacts, a lot of brass, a lot of copper, stuff like that. So you got some nice brass, some nice copper, again some copper pieces, but hopefully the screws are brass, but that's about it. So now if we can remove this and we can hopefully, so she's kind of jamming there, it's catching on the bottom part. So oh yeah, it's catching here. So if we can get this bit of brass to push down, hopefully we might be able to get out from under it. Hopefully. Still catching somewhere. There we go, one side out. And then we'll have to force the other side out. And of course it doesn't want to come out. Why would it? Actually, while I'm at this, can I cut through here and see if it's copper or if it's just aluminium? You know, snips won't cut too well, but I'm going to give us a look at it. And as you can see, we have copper, which is nice. So, well, it looks like it could be a Chinesium. Was there Chinesium back in the 70s? No, copper. Okay, so at least we have copper. But it's in an awkward spot to get out. There we go. Out it comes. So we've got our little bit of cast that we'll have to remove these pins from. But again, as you see in here, which one was it? This one. It's just a matter of banging it through and we'll get it out. So it's not going to be too hard to remove them. Now, what are we left with? Some more brass. Some more brass. This looks like it's brass on the back as well. So might as well take it off. And then we'll get a magnet and we'll just quickly test the screws. And we'll test the other little bits and pieces we got and see if they're brass or not brass. So there's only one way to check it, isn't it? Get the magnet. And some old Bakelite again. If you're inclined, like not mentioning anyone, Mr. Ian Matthews, if you're inclined, you can bang out that bit of brass there, and you have some more bits of brass here that are stuck in behind here. So again, it's plastic. Hit it with a hammer. You're going to break that out fairly easy. It's not going to take much effort to get that out. A little bit of copper. There again, remove the screws, clean it up, and you've got some nice, probably take it as number 2 insulated or something like that, or you can clean it up completely and get rid of all that plastic off it. But is it worth the effort? I'd say no. On that, to do that, then we have these few bits of brass, hopefully. So we'll get the magnet and we'll see if they're brass or if they're not is going to be the answer. So let me get a good magnet from a hard drive or something and we'll run it over the top and we'll see what sticks and what doesn't stick. Okay, so I have my magnet. Let's zoom in a bit. And okay, we're going to run the magnet over the top. Metal, no good. Over there. Okay, so brass. We know they're copper. It just needs a bit of a clean up here, as you can see on this copper. So it's got a little bit, so it doesn't stick here, but here it will. So just clean it up, guys, cut it off, get rid of that bit of metal that's on there. Nice bit of copper. Okay, more copper. Let's throw some of this stuff in here and see what happens. So okay, so we've 2 little bits of metal there, throw them aside. So these were non-magnetic, but I didn't expect that to be magnetic. So this little thing here is non-magnetic, so brass more than likely. So we'll leave that aside. Now this is the bit we want to test the screws. So we'll pull them over here. And hopefully we've got some nice brass screws. Again, as I say, there is people online that buy these for restoring old type materials, and they want to have original vintage screws to that era. So you can make some nice money on them, or just save them for yourself, and you might need them at some stage, or cash them in as brass. So, oh no, they're not brass. No. I hope you can hear the disappointment in my voice on that, because they're not brass. not brass. After all that effort, not one of them is brass. He's brass. We have one brass screw. We have two brass screws. We have, that's brass. That's brass. How about this little screw? Brass. Okay, so we have a few little brass screws, but nothing to write home about. So all in all, guys, very disappointed, no silver contacts. Took about, what, 20 minutes in total, I'd say, to strip out, or maybe more. So for a little bit of brass, a little bit of copper, got the motor. So what, maybe made €1, €2 in 20 minutes. So 20 minutes, €2. So €6 an hour. Not really going to be worth taking them apart for €6 an hour. Now again, you probably do it in 10 minutes if you weren't doing a video. So if I wasn't doing a video of 10 of them, that'd be 6 of them, that'd be £12 an hour. Still not worth it. You want to be making over 20 an hour to make it worthwhile. So guys, that's it for the video. As always, thanks for watching, and till the next one, please give it a thumbs up, and if not, as I said already, if you're not subscribed, please do consider subscribing. Take it easy. Bye bye.